I think when you do a survey, it's really a point in time. It's your snapshot at where the culture is at that point in time. And so, HHSA is probably further along in their reorganization and sort of change management and settling down from that than CDA is. So this is the part of the probe that I think Mary and Sue Ann are talking about, to kind of go through the layers and figure out more where this is coming from. I think one of the things that's been troubling to me is this notion that this is all and I'll use the words, witch hunt against a particular individual, or a certain faction against another faction. And it really is, there are so many things that are coming out of the cultural assessment. I think anybody that that would be their assessment would have selective hearing. There's a lot of things that I think we're looking at as themes that we can use to improve our organization. I will say that the board, to the public, that the board has asked me long before the themes in the cultural assessment came out, was to come up basically with a matrix or a blueprint that would apply to all county employees, but to be mindful of the different classifications or employment relationships that we have with our employees, and that's elected, appointed, and then more of your hired folks that have gone through the civil service process. We have goo gaps of policies and procedures, but the one thing, and part of it has to do with turnover in the county, or a lack of continuity, is the application and the adherence to those policies and procedures. So we can sit here, we could pass 50 more ordinances about the way it should be or the way we should apply it, but if the leadership in the county, with the board's backing, doesn't feel empowered to apply those in a equitable way consistently, we could probably all go home. So I think that's one of the things that we all need to be mindful of as we move forward. There was a question that was raised about when we receive processes, or if we receive emails or this and that, if I receive something and it's asking me to do something, if it's within the parameters of the law, I do it until my board or the county council tells me to take a different direction. Jerry Copeland, I think, was talking about too the respectful workplace policy being new, and that is new, but our code of ethics and our PMR, or our personnel rules, those have all been in place for a long time. But it's this notion of having the rule and holding people accountable to it that is where we need to put our focus on. Because if someone, if there's a rule that you can't wear black stockings, wear black stockings every day, and then all of a sudden they say, oh, there was this rule here, and you've been wearing black stockings for 10 years, and now today you're gone over it, that's a problem. I mean, there needs to be some application of this and follow through.
I think what you're saying is that we can't change the rules now and then go back and punish people based on amended rules.
No, what I'm saying is that there's some things that you do. There's some things that you do or you don't do because that's the way it is. I mean, I may have never read a specific penal code, but I know that I shouldn't be doing X or Y. What I'm saying is, Terry knows that she's supposed to follow the personnel rules. So if one of the of favoritism or nepotism or whatever it is that the HR director was hired and the hiring was not in compliance with the personnel rules, and that the board decided to investigate that, and it was shown that we did violate the personnel rules, then the board would have a choice to fire me, to demote me, to go through another application process, or to admonish or discipline Ms. Daly for not following the personnel rules.
Well,
So
what happens when an elected official?
And that's thank you, and that's really where I can see,
know the answer.
right? It happens publicly. With Ms. Daly, it happens as an appointed employee, and so people might say that's not fair. I've thought about being an elected official, and there's pros and cons to both of those things. If you're elected, you basically have your performance evaluation every 4 years by the public. If you're appointed, your tenure goes from any given Tuesday to any given Tuesday. And so there's pros and cons to both arrangements. So anyway, I just wanted to make some quick comments. Does the board have any